I'm going to look at the effect of California missions on the Native Americans in California. Before I talk about the missions and their effects, I'm going to give some background information on the missions. Missions became widespread because the Spanish government required 2 priests in every expedition starting in 1526. This is because conversion was one of the tenets of the Spanish Empire. The Pope also declared the Native Americans were capable of understanding the Catholic faith in 1537. Franciscan missions also spread quickly after 1573, when the Spanish crown issued the Royal Orders of New Discoveries. The Royal Orders of New Discoveries declared that conversion and pacification of Native Americans should come first, which required missionaries. Although all this happened in the 1500s, missions weren't actually built until the 1700s. In 1769, the Spanish crown ordered an expedition to Alta California led by Captain Portola and Father Junipero Serra. This expedition is known as the Sacred Expedition. Spain had previously claimed California, but didn't settle there because it was too far north. Why did they wait so long to send an expedition there? This is because Spain started feeling pressured by Russian trappers slowly working their way south through California, and they wanted to assure their claim on California. Missions stabilized the frontier and served colonial and military purposes. Now that I gave a little background information, I'm going to move on to the view the Spaniards had of the Native Americans. The early Spaniards noticed similarities between Spanish Catholic culture and Native American culture and decided to use this to their advantage to assist in converting the native people. Some Spaniards even thought the Native Americans were fallen Christians because they weren't Catholic but were living in a paradise. They associated the abundant resources in California with the Garden of Eden. Contrary to their beliefs, the Native Americans weren't actually just living in paradise. All their crops were carefully planned, and they actually did controlled burnings to cultivate the land. When it came down to who had control over the Native Americans, both the Spanish crown and the Pope thought they held the Native Americans' best interests in mind. Most of the Native Americans didn't acknowledge either power because they felt that neither party gave them a voice. So that's how the mission started and how the Spaniards viewed the Native Americans. But why did the Native Americans participate in the missions? There were actually a variety of reasons. Some Native Americans voluntarily got baptized and became converts when the missionaries visited their villages, although many didn't understand the ramifications of being baptized. Others were attracted by Spanish goods, knowledge, skills, and other things, such as horses. It was common for missions to be ignored by Native Americans until they decided it would be useful in some way. Missionaries incorporated Native beliefs into Christianity in order to help them participate. The Spanish document, the Requerimiento, helped the Spanish force Native Americans into missions by having them choose between converting or becoming slaves. The population of missions also increased significantly during times of need such as famine or war. But Native Americans who joined during these times often left once things got better. Those were some reasons Native Americans participated in missions, and now I'll go into some of the effects missions had on the Native people. One huge impact was learning the Spanish language. Spanish gave the Native Americans an option for a common language they could use with other Native American tribes they previously weren't able to communicate with. This helped a lot for trading. Some Native Americans took advantage of the missions to become information brokers. They gathered information on missions and traded information to Native Americans, or they traded information about the Native Americans to the missions. Knowledge of how missions built relationships helped the Native people build relationships with other Native Americans because they were all exposed to the Spanish way of building relationships. Another effect was that the local economic and power struggle patterns were upset by mission resources. Often, the tribes closest to the missions benefited a lot more than other tribes because of trade with the missions. That's it for the effects of missions on the Native Americans and reasons why they participated.